Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started on this episode of The Guido Goes Off, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Tough Enough winner and former OVW trainer Matt Capitelli. Um, the Capitelli did win season 3 of Tough Enough alongside John Hennigan, who we now know as Johnny, whatever name he's using this week. He very early in his career, he was diagnosed with brain cancer and had been fighting it ever since. It put an end to his wrestling career. He did train, and he's well beloved by many members of the WWE family, talent, people backstage, and the like. He always had a smile on his face, was always upbeat, saying that he would fight this cancer and that he would beat it. Unfortunately, this week he lost his battle with brain cancer. He was only 38 years old. We here at the Greedo Goes Off offer our sincerest condolences and deepest sympathies to his family and friends. Hello everyone, once again, welcome to this episode of The Guido Goes Off. As always, I thank you folks for watching. Today in this episode, I'm going to be talking more about the deal that WWE did make with Fox, the huge over $1 billion deal, which was officially announced this week, as well as their deal with NBC Universal to keep Raw on USA. As we know, details have been a bit sketchy, but now they're starting to come to light. Oh, excuse me. As we know, Fox now seems to be getting quite a bit of value for their $1 billion investment over the next 5 years in this contract with World Wrestling Entertainment. The big news being, of course, is that SmackDown will be moving to Fox. And in an interesting tweet, as they announced it, WWE did announce, did in the announcement, I should say that SmackDown was the flagship show. Now, this does come as a big announcement because we've always been taught that Raw is the flagship show. It's the big show. It's the, it's where everybody wants to be a part of Raw. Everyone wants. But now WWE seems to be changing their tune, and more than likely the reason why. Actually, there's probably several reasons. The first, of course, being SmackDown will be on a major broadcast network, as it will be aired on Fox. I believe it's going to be on Fridays. No word as if it will be 3 hours long, as Raw has been, or if it will stay with the 2-hour format. I guess this stuff's going to come out eventually. However, as I said, it is on a major broadcast network, as opposed to Raw, which, don't get me wrong, Raw is still on USA. USA does reach quite a few homes. It is a staple network of almost every basic package that there is, whether it be cable, satellite, or streaming services. But as I said, Fox is a major network, so it kind of jumps over Raw in that aspect. Also, a very interesting point, as it's WWE's, of course, seem to put all their eggs in the big Raw basket, and SmackDown got bought up by Fox for more than Raw did. And of course, we know now there's some more stuff to it, but still, for a very hefty price tag, that SmackDown got picked up. Again, I don't know if there's more being added, like if more money's going to come away for the extra stuff that I'm going to talk about here in a bit. However, when it was announced how much the deal was for, um, I mean, it was still in like I mean, you're talking, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but there's like $300,000 to $400,000 more that Fox was paying for SmackDown than NBC Universal is paying for Raw. So again, makes sense to call it the flagship show. And of course, and that big thing that they got this deal off of the way without Brock Lesnar being on SmackDown, I should say. Without Ronda Rousey being on SmackDown, without Roman Reigns being on SmackDown. As we know, WWE considers these people, considers those folks, their top stars. I mean, this is off of the weight of AJ Styles, The Miz, Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, kind of the more talent-stacked women's division with, Charlotte and Becky Lynch um, and it just seems to be, that maybe that's the reason why. But of course, now I know people are like, well, there's going to be another superstar shakeup before these new contracts come into effect, and they can move any one of these people to SmackDown. And you're right. You're absolutely 100% correct that is true. But again, this hasn't happened yet, and I don't know if this was even negotiated as part of this. From what I gather, the reason why there's this deal is because, as I said, Fox is looking to change their format into more live entertainment and to be more live entertainment and more sports driven. So, because, and as we know, they're kind of a little flush with cash as the sale of their film division was approved with Disney. I think it was the film. I think it was the film division and like a film and television studio divisions. It could not include the sports, according to I think it was the SEC, due to the fact that that would cause a monopoly, as Disney already owns ESPN. And I think they were keeping the news area, so Fox News and that. Flush with cash, and now they're like changing their format, and it seems now more and more, especially with these other announcements, Fox is looking to heavily invest in WWE, and let's face it, the way the wrestling climate is right now, we're starting to come back into a boom. Fox might be getting into the WWE business, into the wrestling business, at the exact right moment. Like I said, due to this fact, like I said, wrestling seems to be on the upswing. I mean, if you think about this, we live in a world right now where Ring of Honor almost got a show at Madison Square Garden, and if it hadn't been for WWE's interference, probably would have, and probably would have sold the thing out. Where a show put on by a few wrestlers is now touted as being probably the biggest indie event in the United States. Impact's starting to slowly but surely turn around under Don Callis' leadership, and is starting to become not only watchable but entertaining. And New Japan is starting to get even more of a claw hold, because it's represented by a line, into the American market, and also by doing shows in America, as well as, from what I gather, the possibility of touring. Of course, they also have the talent exchange with Ring of Honor, and Impact working with Ring of Honor as well. As I said, Fox probably could not have gotten into wrestling at a better time. Okay, maybe about, like around the Monday Night War Attitude Era. Yeah, that probably might have been a little bit better. But like I said, wrestling is more profitable now, probably than it has been ever. And it just seems like the right time to do this. And, Rupert Murdoch did not get to where he is by being a fool. So like I said, SmackDown is the big piece of the Fox WWE deal, but not the only one, according to announcements. I believe the news broke on Thursday that, in addition to SmackDown becoming a part of the Fox lineup, Fox has also negotiated. It's either all said and done or really close to it, that NXT will be coming to Fox Sports 1 or FS1. Um, of course, there's a lot of stuff on Fox Sports 1, very sports space. I don't think they've had wrestling on there since the early days of TNA, when it was still Fox Sports Midwest, or when it was still like Fox Sports Net. However, it does bring up a very interesting situation, as NXT, in the mind of a lot of people, the best brand that WWE has right now, but is a cornerstone of the WWE network. And so a lot of people are wondering, if you take this off, is this going to lead to the collapse of the WWE network? I think with these deals, I don't think Vince really cares anymore. To be honest, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great stuff on the WWE network. Of course, there's the pay-per-views, so you got that. So again, and of course, another issue that a lot of people have been talking about is the fact that on FS1 and on Fox itself, as Fox does broadcast the World Series, it could be that both of these shows could be preempted by a sporting event. So I'm guessing they're going to work that stuff out, and probably there'll be maybe a replay on the WWE network in both cases, I'm guessing. And so again, there's probably a lot that needs to be worked out, and I'm sure that they still have until I believe it's October 5th of next year, that they have to kind of get things solidified. And yet another huge part of this deal, apparently Fox wants to bring back Saturday night's main event. As we know, that show started in the the mid 80s. I think once a month they preempted Saturday Night Live, which was probably good for that cast to give them a break. I mean, granted, it wasn't the best cast they had at the time, and then disappeared for a while. Then they brought it back like a couple times a week, or like a couple times a year. But it looks like they want to bring it back. As you know, like I keep telling about this deal, it's apparently Fox is heavily invested with WWE and is looking to get to broadcast as much wrestling as humanly possible. As you know, I can't get enough wrestling. I'm sure if you're watching this, you can't get enough wrestling. So it would just seem to be, it just seems like a good idea. There's still no word yet as far as ironing out the details. As far as the Saturday Night main event, they did iron out with the NXT part that it will have the same time slot, Wednesdays at 8 Eastern. It's a lot. We're gonna get a lot of wrestling, on Fox, and like I said, they're investing heavily into it, and of course they're gonna want to see a return. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of The Guido Goes Off. As always, I thank you folks for watching. What do you think of all these details involving the WWE Fox deal? Let me know in the comment section below. Talk to me on the social media profiles. Of course, go to the Facebook page, like it. We're uploading more and more stuff. You can see all the fun stuff from MallCon, all the interviews, and matches from Rampage Championship Wrestling at MallCon. And as we constantly mentioned during those interviews, don't forget, mark it on your calendar, July 21st, if you happen to be in the Quincy area, RCW presenting River City Revenge. Of course, we know of 3 matches with huge implications going into this. Tickets are available at online through the Oakley Lindsay Center. Of course, a lot of the guys that I talked to there are going to be there, and some more are going to be there. And so it's a can't miss show. Also, if you're in the Springfield, Illinois area next weekend, July 7th, RCW in conjunction with a couple of other promotions are doing another Wrestling for a Cure event. They're hoping to raise at minimum, $10,000 to go to St. Jude Children's Hospital. Great work that they do. This is going to be a great event. If you're in the Springfield area, it is in the Illinois building of the State Fairgrounds. So, like I said, if you're in the Springfield area, go attend that show. It should be a lot of fun. And one thing that I think we never, ever, ever, ever covered in MallCon, World Events Productions, for those of you that don't know, those are the wonderful folks that bring you your mighty lions forming Voltron, or your vehicles, or your gladiators, whichever you're into. They did have a special coupon code. Now, this code will be valid until August 31st. Go to the Voltron store at store.voltron.com and enter the promo code MALLCON10. That will give you 10% off your entire order. Again, this code is only good until August 31st. So if you're a fan of Voltron, if you like cool stuff that involves lions, it's well worth it. Okay, I think I got everything covered, finally. Whew, good Lord. But again, all the stuff I covered, all the social media stuff I covered, love it. As always, like this channel, like this video, share it with everyone you know, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Again, thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for joining on to this crazy ride, joining in with the few but faithful. I hope you really enjoy it. So, with all that being said, until next time, I am the Guido, and I think we're done here.